Black Supremacy's Nattyisisyah joined the website www.kingnobleuncensored.com. So I'm making this video here about Brother Polite and Minister Enki because, for one, I find it very interesting that they are speaking against spiritual escapism right now, because I've been speaking a lot about that lately. And before I go on making any more videos like that, I guess I might as well address this video before people start assuming that I'm speaking about any of these brothers when I'm not. Next is that they don't see the need for spirituality, it seems, and they've basically replaced spirituality with financial escapism. And two, they are publicly humiliating the people who they claim to be helping, because they've been asking for donations in the community a lot. And in this video, they basically go off on a rant about what appears to be the people that they're helping. Now, overall, what I've noticed in this video is that they have some type of cognitive dissonance, because I know that they're very aware of the situations that are going on in the community, right? Which is why he's able to have some type of platform where he's presenting himself as though he is helping those in need. However, if you are really helping those in need, you wouldn't make a video like this publicly humiliating those who you claiming to be feeding and who you claim to be helping in the conscious community, unless you had an ulterior motive and something to gain from the people who you are helping. Now, it seems as though if you do not join Polite's organization, that you are just an animal killing black people in the streets. However, if you join his organization, you're good. You know, that is spirituality, because that is what they're presenting in this video, that spirituality is wearing a gold ankh around your neck, some gold teeth in your mouth, and a gold hat with, I guess, Ma'at's feathers on it. That's the epitome of spirituality. You don't need to go any deeper than that. You don't need to learn how to, deal with any type of spiritual practice whatsoever. Just get this money, worship the dollar, and you're good. But what they are trying to cloak, or what they are avoiding, is really having to create any type of real social change and social justice, because you have a lot of people who have had money already. People have had money, right? And they still realize the social injustices of the world. It seems as though only in the conscious community, among brothers and sisters who may have grown up in poverty themselves, right, and who maybe are getting a taste of the money, or seeing others with the taste of the money, they're the only ones who seem as though that they can use money as a means of financial escapism from having to deal with the issues and the problems. But when you look to a lot of other communities, you actually see them trying to help the people. You don't see them turning around and dogging the people who they are trying to help, right? You don't see the native Indians who are fighting for their land in the reserve turning around and saying, "Oh, you silly bum, you shouldn't have sat there while they tried to take over our land. You should have just went and got money. You should have got this money." You don't hear them people. You don't see people in Papua New Guinea when they're being hacked to death saying, "You silly animal." You know what I mean? You should have just went joined this organization. You should have just went to my website. You should just join me. It's only in the Black conscious community, who can do these type of things, where they think that money is really going to save them, and it's really only in America, because I don't necessarily see this amongst really anybody else. But it seems it has come to the all-time high in the conscious community. Now, spirituality is definitely something that everybody should tap into. Everybody should take the time to figure out. And I'm going to be making a series of videos on things that I think people should do when they find themselves embarking on the conscious community, right? Just to give people a heads up. But I think that, you got to have balance with both finances and with both spirituality, because neither one of them is going to get you. Neither one of them is basically going to give you resolve. You know, people come into the conscious community, haven't necessarily come into the conscious community to get money, right? And they didn't necessarily come into the conscious community to just demystify into a ball of smoke and atoms and molecules. You know what I mean? We basically came to find balance and to fix the issues going on in the world, and, you know, maybe personally, on a personal level, right? But when people are trying to use spirituality to basically turn their back on their brother and sister, that's a problem. And when people are using finances as a means to turn their back on their brother and sister and not have to deal with them, that is also an issue. And, you know, I call this video Poverty Pimping because, you know, they expose themselves in this video. And I've heard him doing it a long time. And I've been meaning to make this video because it's plenty of times where I've heard Polite speaking about the people that seem to fit the character or the description of the people that he's handing these supposedly vegan pizzas or vegan meals to. Because it's a lot of times where he has, you know, basically degraded people who are homeless, might be in poverty, financially disenfranchised, you know, a target of the fastest white supremacy capitalistic system, including police attacks and police brutalities, right? And it really is looking like, if you're not joining his organization, that you are just that animal that he's speaking about. But if you join his organization, then you're good money, right? But it's like, we got to come there has to be some type of balance, right? We can't just be looking at our people as though they're just dollars and bills, right? We're supposed to be worth more than money. We're supposed to see ourselves as more valuable than that. But if you are creating a whole organization, or you're creating a facet of your organization that is going to go out there and target those who do need help, and then come back and publicly humiliate those same people, really trying to sneak diss and trying to attack other members in the community who really want to make a difference on a revolutionary front, right? You're really exposing yourselves, and it's really not a good look, because even though you're really trying to attack those who are revolutionary, who are not necessarily getting the funding and the support that they need, you're really exposing yourself when you try to claim as though that you need money from the community to go and help the poor people and the hungry people, right? Because if you really were doing that, and if you really cared about those people that you were helping, you wouldn't make a video talking about how a man looks terrible, and how his woman probably looks terrible, and his children probably look terrible, but he's asking you for a donation or to go to his website or anything like that. It's like, it's clear. You don't have to sneak behind the bush. You don't have to make videos like that. You can just come out and say who you're talking about and what you're talking about, because we already know. But you're still exposing yourself, because if I was somebody who really wanted to donate to your community or to your organization that is helping you to go and feed homeless people, why would I want to, a lot of times when people make these GoFundMe pages like the ones that Polite has asked for, right? A lot of times, when people donate, they are supposed to get something in return for their donation. So in return for your donation, for donating to him to go and help people or feed people, in return for that, he's going to make a video and tell you just how bummy these people looked. How does that make sense? Did he, as a businessman, did you not see how poor that public relation stunt looks, right? And like I said, I've been meaning to make a video, but now you have Minister Enki, who has joined in on the fun, right? And he himself has said basically we should join the Honeycomb Cove. So I want to know if people who are really being accosted by this fascist government, racist police, and people who really do find themselves in financial struggle, if they join this Honeycomb Cove and they sip from that cup, will they really be allowed to enter the party, right? And then from therefore really be left alone now that they've joined this secret community? Chances are more likely than not, right? So they're basically using financial escapism. You know what I mean? Promoting financial escapism is poverty pimping all the way up and down. You know what I mean? They're exposing themselves, and these are basically the things that, like, you know, people obviously have to look out for. And, you know, downplaying the whole spirituality piece is not going to help you either, because people have been worshiping the dollar for a long time. Worshiping the dollar is the main reason why we have not had a revolution, is because people are, for one, they're too bougie, and they want they want the trinkets and whatever benefits of the system, right? So that's why a lot of people are not, you know, really getting in tune with themselves, and they're not, you know, rising up. Because, you know, they're not just afraid. A lot of people are not just afraid. They still have that. They still got that thirst. They're thirsty for white supremacy. They're thirsty for what the system got. They don't know that the reality that we could build and we will manifest is 1,000 times, 100,000 times greater than this. You know what I mean? You're talking about just having a house, just having a car, and you know what I mean? There's so much more that we could be doing than just that type of stuff. And you need spirituality to really take you there. But you can't use spirituality to escape your responsibilities of being on this plane, nor can you use financial escapism as a means to escape this plane. So this is my video. I just wanted to make it plain before people start saying that I'm making videos about Polite, because a lot of times I'm not making videos about him. But when videos like this pop up that are, you know, that have a lot to do with what I'm talking about, people might make those assumptions. So I just made this video plain so you all don't have to go there. And I could really make my points clear about how I feel about a lot of, you know, at least what he's doing in this video. And, you know, maybe the brother can think about and meditate on what the things that he is doing, because it's just, to me, it's like, really, like, why would you make a video like that if you claim that you're helping these people? You're not really helping these people. You wouldn't have nothing to do if these people really rose up against the system. For one, if they rose up against the system, if they really created some type of revolution, you wouldn't have anybody to feed and to help. And you wouldn't have the financial means to do it, nor would you have your lifestyle would be messed up, because you would go down with the system too. So I really hope people get themselves together. I really do hope people balance out their spirituality and their financial troubles, so that we don't have to see this anymore. Because I predicted that this is what the community would come to. I knew that the conscious community was just going to become, you know, an Ankh gold chain rocking, Ma'at medallion, period medallion, you know, Egypt worshiping type of community, and type of lifestyle, without really causing a great social, you know, overturning of the white supremacy and the lower self within themselves. I knew it was just going to become some type of idol, type of fantasy, you know, type of, you know, secondary white supremacy type of lifestyle. Like, we really need real community. And I was really hoping that, you know, Polite could have helped when I had first came in, because, you know, I know he was talking a lot about getting the houses. So I really thought, you know, and it's like when I came to Georgia, like, I really seen it, because they got whole neighborhoods where it's just, you know, they built these little neighborhoods off in the cut a little bit. And I was like, really like, oh wow, you know, so he might buy something like that, and then you just have a whole bunch of brothers and sisters living up there who are really about something, not the people who he's afraid of. But even if you are afraid of it, I mean, if you're that spiritual and you're that deep, you can really work with a lot of these brothers and sisters. But if all you really have for them is a sandwich, I could see why you're afraid of them. I could see why you call them animals. I could see why you don't want nothing to do with your revolutionary brothers and sisters, right? Because, you know, you're scared, and that's the lower ego, that the lower self. That is your root chakra. You need to work on your root chakra. These brothers, you know, they're pretending that their life is all good. And, you know, clearly it's not. If you got all this money and you got to come back and make a live stream video talking about some homeless person that you gave a sandwich to, you really got nothing going on, right? I think some real meditation and some real thought needs to be given to a lot of what people are doing. And it's like your life could be so much more fulfilling and better than that, because it's like, it's only, people have had money before, and you don't necessarily see people from other communities who have had money who are still seeing the injustices going on in the world. They're not necessarily getting on and clowning the people that they are helping. When they help, it is genuine and it is true and it is from the heart. But it seems like when people from the conscious community, when they help, it's just for gain. It's just for gain. So self-aggrandizement to make themselves look better. And it's like that is truly, the low self-esteem, or that is truly the person who is not wealthy, right? So for people who are really wanting to see real true social change, right, join the website www.kingnobleuncensored.com. And for those who might be financially advantaged, who do really want to help, do make a donation. You could donate to King Noble. Email him at lordyeshana@gmail.com. The email will be in the description. And subscribe to my channel, subscribe to King Noble's channel. Peace.